Hello, it's been misbehaving, and welcome to the Tristan channel. And as you know, I like to do some things on Marvel films, especially like Doctor Strange and various things. This one I said I'd be doing a video on. It's just a cover. Oh, itch. So I'm wearing this because it's quite nippy. It's going to be nippy around these times. This article was brought to my attention by a good mate of mine who works at who I work with as well, called Mac. So shout out to Mac, by sent me this article, which I figured we'd go over. I had a quick scan for it, but not a proper read for it, because I figured I'll do something on it here. So, Doctor Strange 2 display reveals Elizabeth Olsen's real-life Scarlet Witch suit photos. Right, Elizabeth Olsen made her debut as the Hydra-enslaved Wanda Maximoff in Avengers Age of Ultron alongside her brother Pietro, aka Quicksilver, who didn't last too long. Despite quickly becoming amongst the most powerful, significant and influential heroes in the MCU, it took almost 6 years for her to get a solo outing and to receive her comic alias as WandaVision introduced the Scarlet Witch. After a series of reality-bending sitcom antics and what some may construe as villainy, Wanda made the transformation into an all-powerful Scarlet Witch in the WandaVision finale, allowing her to defeat Agatha Harkness and giving her a snazzy new outfit. Interesting is, if anyone's read Doctor Strange, Agatha Harkness is not really a not really a baddie, if that makes sense. So she made look like baddie and trying to steal the powers, but I think it's again. Oh, can't do it. Fuck it. Again, it's like from the you have to remember that it's like, well, okay, she may have kidnapped the kids, or seemed to have kidnapped the kids, or something. We don't know what happened to them, you see, so that's what we'll find out hopefully in Multiverse of Madness. But it's to do with the Darkhold and stuff like that. And obviously, Agatha dabbled with the Darkhold, so yeah, she could have been affected by it. But the whole purpose of her in Wanda, because she looks like a villain, but don't forget she's trying to stop Wanda because of the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch. She knew about the Scarlet Witch, so she wanted to take Wanda's powers so she didn't become the Scarlet Witch, because the Scarlet Witch in prophecy spelt doom. And the thing is, in Doctor Strange comics and things like that, she was more of another magic user that worked with him at times, you know what I mean? So but having introduced Wanda to a host of new powers, Harkness sent the magical Avenger down a dark path as she began to study the Darkhold, a dangerous book of powerful magic. Its treacherous route appears to be the crux of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where Wanda will return in what looks like to be a villainous capacity. While the multiverse blockbuster made directly building on everything WandaVision introduced, the Scarlet Witch will be seeing some changes before she comes back, notably in her costume. Although some say she might be causing problems during the film, but then comes back because, again, it's because there's a bit in WandaVision. There's a bit you see her looking down at her Scarlet Witch persona, and people will speculate, as I've guessed or reckon, it's happening inside her head. So she's got the Scarlet Witch persona fighting herself, if that makes sense, because there's kind of like two sides to her something. So most likely she'll come out of it, snap out of it. She'll go mental, and then because she wants to fight her kids. That's things to try to get her kids back. So she'll probably go mental. It'll come full circle. Because thing is, don't forget, this is Doctor Strange film, so it's about him, and the biggest threat, they said, they said in the film is, well, mind you, it could be a misdirect as well, because the way they edit the trailer, because they could say the biggest threat in the universe, Stephen, is you. Well, they could have easily got snippet for that audio. They could have easily got snippets for. To be fair, we could all be wrong. It could be Scarlet, which is the bad person or the bad guy, or turns out to be the biggest threat. and the rest of Doctor Strange is just a ploy, or mind you, he could be genuinely facing charges. We don't know, but it's that thing where it's like, so the biggest threat could be Wanda, but the way they edited the audio is it comes out of Steven, because they could just took snippets from films or parts of that film in particular. It's like the audio, because don't forget he says Steve. He's not the first time he's called him Steven, so they could have got the audio snippet from the thing, if that makes sense, for the other films. So Scarlet Witch's Multiverse of Madness costume revealed. The Los Angeles Regal Live Cinema recently unveiled a Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness pop-up display featuring a real-life costumes of Benedict Cumberbatch's titillated sorcerer and Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. Twitter user Scarlet W News shared an up-close look at Wanda Maximoff's Multiverse of Madness costume via at Keegan Upstone, which has seen some slight updates since WandaVision. Let's move this a bit. Move my ugly mug out of the way. So that's the tiara. So slightly darker. That's her top. Looks like it's got splotches of black in it, not just the red. Wanda's crimson costume has now been charred with black markings as revealed by previous promotional material, with the sleeves also being spotted with darkness. Although saying that, it could be a line, but it does look a bit blacky green, like a blue bottle. Like a blue bottle looks black, but it's actually there's a green sheen to it. It could be just like that material, like tights. It could be that black see-through material, so it's like a goth top. You know what I mean? Gothic top. Similarly, Wanda's tiara appears to be less than pristine shape, perhaps teasing some sort of corruption. Because obviously got the corruption of the Darkhold. I don't know. It's very hard to tell from that photo, isn't it? It does, because it just looks crimson. It just looks darker. But then again, when we saw her in WandaVision, she was glowing. So prior to the post, Doctor Strange update took to Twitter to share a look at the overall display, which highlights the film's poster and multiverse door shown in the latest trailer. How has Scarlet Witch changed since WandaVision? Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch has clearly made some notable changes to her magical attire since she has been seen studying the Darkhold in the final moments of WandaVision. Having debuted her Scarlet Witch aesthetic with a sleeveless maroon top, forearm covers and a classic comic-inspired crown, her evolved Multiverse Madness costume has maintained much of the same theme, but with a notable addition of sleeves and a more comic-accurate red, with plenty of foreboding and black spots sprinkled throughout. Comparing the WandaVision and Multiverse Madness costumes, Marvel has clearly taken a step into the villainous direction for Wanda's big screen comeback. While her Disney Plus attire certainly was a step in the heroic Avenger direction, the updated design just screams magically corrupt witch, which appears to be the direction the film's going. Well, yeah, she does look dark in the trailers from what we've seen. It's like and it's also that sort of ominous thing she says to Steven. He goes, you break the rules and be called a hero. I break them and I get called a villain. And she didn't think it's fair. So some fans have already theorised that the black patches that appear to be growing across the suit are there to signify Wanda's increasing corruption from her study of the Darkhold. Because also, it didn't make you into. Oh, excuse me. It didn't make you into a zombie, but your fingers go black. It's like you start going like undead, like a necromancer, and you get corrupted by the powers. So obviously, it's a corrupt, make everything look rotten. Darkhold. For the moment, however, it remains unclear if the updates made to Scarlet Witch's costumes will be addressed or simply thrown aside. Marvel Studios costume department clearly put a lot of work in designing WandaVision costumes for Scarlet Witch, and only a few elements seem to have carried over, given how brief of appearance the outfit had in Disney Plus finale. There's a chance Wanda will reclaim her old look before the credits roll. Multiverse Matters asks her redemption has inevitably been completed. Yeah, because that's the thing. See, she could come back as being the hero as well. Yeah, it could be a variant of Strange that's bad. You know, I mean, she has a moment in the film, and when her redemption is fighting the evil Strange, or because they also got the Shumagoroth, or as they call it in their Gargantos. So there's other evil antagonists within the film. So fans will have to wait until Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness hits theaters on the May 6th to see Scarlet Witch's new costume action. But for now, WandaVision is streaming on Disney Plus. So yeah, what do you think? That looks. I think though, to be fair, there's also a fashion thing in terms of. I mean, yeah, it gives her a dark appearance, but how do I put it? It's like a netting. You know what I mean? Stocking. You know, like stocking material, that kind of material. It could be that. But I mean, saying that though, I mean, it says like a snake serpentine sort of look. But saying that, it does look like it's been damaged, doesn't it? It looks charred. Like the bits of red have fallen off. You know what I mean? I mean, in that lighting there, the tiara doesn't look that dark, does it? The light on it. Yeah, because in the Darkhold, on the page that warns you about the Scarlet Witch, she's got her with Shumagoroth's tentacles behind her. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. It looks. What do you think of the costume? It's kind of interesting, good to see it properly because I mean we saw you see in a trailer, but it's like you can't have a good nosy at it. You know what I mean? So, oh, pardon me. So I've just had a kebab. So yeah, certainly interesting, isn't it? Let's go back down. Let's come over here. Let's have a back. Let's go back down here, shall we? Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, because they've got this problem is I know I got nothing against Wanda. That's not the point. My problem is I don't and I even though it's a Spider-Man No Way Home formula where it's kind of like they want to have that it's all right. Don't you find when you get tired if you had a really good eat and your tummy's full and you get tired, but caffeine. What was I saying? Yeah. So even with the cameos, like the old nostalgia, like you got apparently Magneto in it, Ghost Rider, Xavier, all these different cameos in the Fantastic Four and what have you. It's all fair and good, but like I said in the other videos, I wouldn't really want them to steal the limelight, as it were. So I'm just making sure I can see the window. I wouldn't want them to steal the show, and also now against Wanda because apparently she could get her own a solo film. Apparently, I can't remember. I think I had rumours they were, but I don't want them to steal the spotlight because it's Doctor Strange's film after all. So it's like if you look at the No Way Home equation, the way the story works. He was up to like the first quarter bit of the film that he was involved in it, and then Peter left him trapped in the mirror dimension whilst curing the villains and that. So it's like she's probably gonna have a moment, but again it's irrelevant but we can see from the trailer he studies the Darkhold, but also there's a further to add. There is rumour that he's going to bring the Book of Vishanti in it, which you might use to counter the Darkhold as it were. But yeah, but he's obviously involved in that and stuff like that. Gets hands on it. to be fair, it's his story, and therefore it's going to be his story arc. They have to concentrate on him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? She'll have her moment in it. She's involved because it's like, hey, why wouldn't she? You know what I mean? She's been not she's been brought along for the ride, as it were. Then it's the multiverse, isn't it? If you look at the multiverse, the endless possibilities, it's like if you're unsuccessful in finding a partner, it's like in another universe you could have a partner and children. So her somewhere out in the multiverse is her kids, and the thing is, she knows also that, or it could be Shumagorath, or in this case, who they call Gargantos for legal reasons. Gargantos, incidentally, like I said in the other videos, is not Shumagorath. Gargantos, and what you see in the trailer and the tentacles in the credit in the Marvel logo, that is not Gargantos. They had to use the name Gargantos for licensing reasons and all that nonsense. But Gargantos, literally, if you want to know what Gargantos looks like, he literally is an octopus. He's not a Cyclops. He's not a Cyclops tentacle thing. He's not a Cthulhu monster-like thing, because a lot of the creatures in Doctor Strange and all that are based like on Lovecraft. Like Shumagorath is essentially like Cthulhu. Or mind you, to be fair, with a single eye and the tentacles, he looks more like Azathoth, the Dreamer, who has basically just like lots of tentacles and a big eye. I forgot where I was going with that, but now because I'm going off into tangents. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so she could either be, but the voices of the kids like, "Oh, mum," could be Shumagorath manipulating her for the Darkhold. If you remember Shang-Chi, the Dark Force and that influenced his dad to try and dig his mother out the cave. That cave, when she was never in that cave. It's just the Dark Forces trying to lure him into setting them free. So I think there's an element to that in there, probably. So either she'll, get manipulated that way, and also if that clip where you see the two Wandas, I think that's probably happening in her head, the inner battle, to help them reconcile. You have the good part of her still there, trying to reconcile the darkness. Because there is rumours in the leaked synopsis that Sinister Strange doesn't fight Doctor Strange. He actually helps him, but apparently to fight some villain in the film, he astral projects, which you like to see in the comics, into the dead body of Defender Strange. This is Sinister Strange doing, not the Prime Strange, and tries to reanimate it. Of course, reanimating a dead corpse. We know what that leads to, don't we? That leads to zombies, doesn't it? So, well, not zombies, but necromancing. So it's like an undead Defender Strange. So, however, saying that, there's also a rumor that it could be that it does fight Sinister Strange, but Sinister Strange gets defeated and then takes over the body. We don't know, but there is a rumor that, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't be surprising if the Sinister Strange is a misnomer. Again, with all this training, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Strange Supreme. You know what I mean? It could be him saying to him, "You could have my fate if you screw up. I learned the hard way." You know what I mean? It's like, because why would you? What the thing is, if you're the villain, if he's the villain, why would he turn around to Stephen Strange and go, "Things just got out of hand"? You know what I mean? Why would he say that? Why would you warn the guy who's trying to stop you? It doesn't make sense. It's more of a case of, or it could be saying that. It could be his dark. It could be, again, though, it could be he's talking, because if it's a nightmare, that could be a dream sequence. That could be his darker self talking to him. See, look, no one's thought about that, have they? And the thing is, it's multiverse and madness. It's like the Mouth of Madness with Sam Neill. It will twist realities, it will bend realities, and really mess. If they do it well, it's where Sam Raimi, for God's sake, as well. And he does like evil. He does Lovecraft and stuff. Evil Dead stuff. So hopefully it's going to mess with your brain. And this film was going to be lots, twisting lots of realities and stuff like that. Sorry. But yeah, so like I said, I don't think the spotlight will be purely on Wanda. Because this is all because again, I mean, I do think it's a bit of a cop out there. Nothing against Wong, I love Wong, but it is a bit of a cop out that he got the title Sorcerer Supreme by default. I thought that was a title you had to earn. In the comics, you had to earn that title, not you just didn't get to claim it. I mean, you could still be master. You could still be master of the mystic arts, but be in charge of Comatage. You had Mordo that, because don't forget, even with the Sorcerer Supreme, she had. It's like when you have. It's like with businesses, right? You have a directional manager, like an area manager, and then you have the managers underneath. Well, it's the same with Comatage. You had a. I can't remember his name now. Is it Master Han or something like that? But he's the one that the one I'm on about is the one that has no hands or lost his hand, and Stephen Strange goes, "Oh, how can I do these things without at least my hands?" And then the Ancient One introduces him to the sky. Well, him, Mordo, Wong, and other people. There's two other people. I can't remember. I mentioned in my Ancient One video, the one she consults. They're in charge of the place, looking after the place. So she goes off, does something. They look after the place. She has people helping her run the place. So Wong could still be master of the mystic arts and look after the place when Stephen's gone. And also the Sorcerer Supreme. The fact that she goes the Sorcerer Supreme, it's the Sorcerer Supreme's duty to protect the Time Stone. Or she just come out, even though, because the thing is, to be fair, we all know that you have to follow a story arc where they have to earn that title. So by Doctor Strange 2, he'll come at its peak, because don't forget Iron Man got up to Iron Man 3. I mean, Sod's Law, typical Tony Stark, he still built suits. Or he goes, oh no, throw away my suits, but he secretly had that nano plate on his chest and that formed the suits, so he kept on secretly working. But that's typical Tony. Because like Pepper Potts says, one of my greatest failures is trying to get you to believe stop, or something like that to that effect. So he'll get to his peak at number 2, and then become full Sorcerer Supreme at number 3. Because don't forget, we've got to have Dormammu come back at some point as well, because there's no Time Stone. Why should he keep the bargain? There is no weapon. You know what I mean? And the thing about What If is we've seen how powerful Stephen Strange can get. I mean, I might do a video on the Strange Supreme. And also my thoughts on it, because it's like, out of all the irony is he is also an underrated character, because Strange Supreme is more powerful than the Watcher, intriguingly enough. The Watcher couldn't stop Ultron in that series, and yes, whilst he assembled a team, they were essentially a distraction or cannon fodder, whilst the real powerhouse was Strange Supreme, who it's like he said at the end of it, he goes, there wasn't ever about us winning, you just needed them to help me set this thing up. So yeah, because I suppose the way the Watcher has some insights or something, but yeah, he's such an underrated character. But that's how powerful Stephen Strange can get. And also he's going to be leading the way of, right, well, the thing is, they might be doing Midnight Suns and things like that, but he's going to be the new face of Marvel. Kevin Feige said he's the anchor. He's going to be so he's going to have to, don't go dark on me. So he's going to have to lead the way and be the face, as it were. Where Iron Man at first did, led the team in a way. He put a lot of responsibility and strategy to Captain America, but technically he was the face of Marvel and the team Avengers. He was the lead guy, the brains, as it were. So to take over that part, you then have Stephen Strange. And before I go there, there's an interesting thing. Before I go finish the video, there's an interesting point I didn't notice at first. There's a short video that someone made on No Way Home, where he says to Pete, he has a go at Peter Parker, goes, "You changed my spell 6 times." No, he didn't. He changed it 5 times. What we didn't realise is the 6th change was actually Stephen Strange himself. Stephen's like the moon, what that moon party he had at Comatage, which he used a spell to wipe everyone's memory of. The sixth change was basically everyone except Stephen Strange forgetting Spider-Man. So there might be an irony to this. There might be an irony to Multiverse of Madness, ladies and gentlemen. There may be some irony here, and that is Stephen Strange still knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Because also he fully knows what he's done. And plus those who... I mean, also, either way, he's going to find out. Well, he's going to find out anyway, because they'll be like, you did a spell to make the world forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And they'll be like, I did a spell to help Spider-Man. But that's the other thing as well. When he did the person casting the spell was aware that they cast a spell. And even though he did look genuinely sad, he was nearly tearing. Which is funny because they don't hang around with each other, but they've been through a lot. So he seemed he seemed very emotional to be saying goodbye to Peter Parker. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting there that he said you changed my spell 6 times and he didn't. The 6th time was Stephen Strange himself. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. So anyway, let me know what you think. What's your thoughts on the costumes, etc. And yes. Anyway, so if you like this video, again, thanks Matt for finding this article, sending me this article. So if anything else surfaces, incidentally, I have seen on the internet. There's no articles, but I've seen on Google image search there actually are proper images now of behind the scenes where you got Tom Cruise literally in a proper mocap suit, and interesting enough, he hasn't got the Tony Stark goatee as well. It's actually looks really don't look doctored or photoshopped. They look proper photos by nothing. Pardon me. So yeah. But to be fair, no, people keep saying I wouldn't say it's Captain Marvel. It's BS. No, it isn't, ladies and gentlemen. Use your loaf. And plus, not only that image of it's Kang, the 4K rendered enhanced photo. Don't give me that baloney. It was a speeding object and glowing really brightly. You couldn't see the features. 2, it's got Iron Man armor on it. People are cherry picking it. It's like, don't forget, all these people who said, it's Kang or it's Rambo or all this nonsense. These people said Mephisto would be in WandaVision. These are the same numpty spaniels who have been saying that Mephisto was in WandaVision. Did he turn up? No. Was Mephisto in Spider-Man No Way Home? No. The story seems familiar because in the comics it was Mephisto who... Mephisto? Sounds dodgy. Mephisto. Instantly short. It's a different spin on the name Mistopheles. Mephisto in the comics was the one who did the spell, not Doctor Strange. So they just borrowed ideas. Doesn't mean Mephisto was in the bloody film. But anyway, like I said... These people are the ones that said Mephisto WandaVision. They weren't. And the thing is, you can't get an image. The thing is, and there's some clips where there's a bit where he bursts through the wall and then blasts Wanda, and she's like that in the trailer. If you go on the play button, or if, I can't figure out. I haven't figured it out with my phone yet. In that bit, genuinely speaking, you can see that it's a white guy with a Tom Cruise haircut. Also, the problem also with that 4K rendering photo is, if that's Kang, why has Kang got a Tom Cruise haircut, and from where the headband is, he's got a white forehead? Did someone slap some wrong colour foundation on his skin? It's like, seriously? It's just people being trolling. They're just trolling. The fact the armour looks... It says it looks like Superior Iron Man. The trailer, and I'll say it in all these videos if I have to. The trailer confirms all leaks. I'm not the only one to say. Mr. H, when he did looked at trailer confirms all the leaks, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Ultron bots, Xavier, Illuminati, and also it's not a zombie Wanda. it's just dark lighting. She's actually, if you look at the scenes from the different fight scenes in the trailer, it's her basically injured. She's injured. She's covered in blood or someone else's blood, and her eyes glow red. She looks like that when she's pissed off. Excuse me language, but that's what she looks like when she's angry. So she's not a zombie. She's just angry. She's powering up like, I'm going to mess you up, mother. She didn't look like an Endgame, but don't forget her Scarlet Witch didn't unleash like Dark Phoenix. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yeah, let me know what you think. If I find out anything more, I'll do some bits on it. Okay. So if you like the video, hit the like, and if you haven't already, then please subscribe. And I'll love you forever. And until the next video, take care. Bye bye.